with us, really enjoying himself. That's at Team Processing, and of course, so much going on there, including the athletes getting their official pajamas with thanks to Sonia Richards-Ross and Aaron Ross, the coordinates PJs, the official PJs of Team USA for the Paris Games. Welcome back, Lee Diffie, along with our Olympian Kara Goucher. You've been excited about this all day long, Kara, the women's 10,000 meter final. This is Wayne Kaladi.
Yeah, Kaladi is just such a great story. You know, she's been so close to making this team, hasn't quite done it yet on the track. She's made U.S. cross-country teams, but this would mean so much to her. We saw her literally 10 years ago. She came here for the World U20 Championships. This is the 3,000 meters. We see her here. She was competing for Eritrea, her country, and she chose to miss her flight. There was a plan for her to stay here.
Look, the nation has been long troubled by political tension and violence, and she did become an American citizen just 3 years ago. We can tell you more about Wayne's story as this race goes on. Here is one of the two Olympians in this field. This is Carissa Schweitzer.
Schweitzer has so much ability in this event. She showed so much greatness at the 2022 World Championships. She's healthy now. She's already made that 5,000 meter team, and this is her better event.
Collegiate standout Parker Valby is in this as well. You can see her all in black there, ready to go. Women's 10,000 final. Okay, get in the groove for 25 laps around Hayward Field here on the grounds of the University of Oregon. Lots to get into here.
Lee, it is quite warm for 10,000 meters. It's 79 degrees, and any cloud cover they get, they are going to be grateful for. There is a little breeze here in the stadium, but it really is quite warm for 10,000 meters.
All right, let's get to the business straight away, shall we? And that is who has and who does not have the Olympic standard of 30 minutes, 40 seconds even. Well, there's only one athlete in the field who does, and that is Wayne Kaladi. She officially has it. So it's going to make for that waiting game to kick in. We told this story earlier in the trials, especially with the men's 3,000 steeplechase. So if you don't have the Olympic standard, you have to have a little bit of patience, play a bit of a waiting game. World Athletics will work with world rankings, see where you shuffle out after tomorrow, after June 30, right?
Yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, all these women are hoping that they'll run fast enough and place high enough that they'll be able to get through on the ranking. If they are not, of course, Wayne Kaladi, the only one that actually has met that standard.
As the women get into their groove after the first lap, I do want to tell you, I want to break away from this women's 10K for a moment and tell you that we've just learned, speaking about Olympic standard or not, James Corrigan, who was third in the steeplechase. Remember when he made that dash to the end? Corrigan didn't have the Olympic standard. He ran at the Penn Relay Summer Showcase earlier today, and he got the standard. He ran 8:13.87. So that means the BYU product is heading to Paris.
Yeah, he gets to join his teammate from BYU, Kenneth Rooks. Look, he PR'd by 7 seconds just to make the final, and then had another huge PR today. Congratulations to him. So exciting. James Corrigan is going to the Olympic Games.
So getting into a rhythm, Susanna Sullivan leads the way over Carissa Schweitzer at the moment. And let's check in with Lewis Johnson, who's always talking to Olympians or superstars.
I know you've been here for about 6 years, and I'm wondering, from your experience, what do you think about America's track and field team, the talent here going to Paris this summer?
Listen, first of all, you know, doing AGT, it's like the Olympics of talent. You know what I mean? And I study success. I study what makes one person work and what makes one person doesn't work, you know? And when I look at these athletes, it's the same thing as a magician, a singer. They dedicate their entire lives to one thing. Yeah. And here, you're talking about every 4 years, you only get this shot. Man, it's the same thing, the same feelings, everything. It's beautiful, man. And again, it's like working magic, but on the track.
Absolutely. Listen, man, thank you for being here. And you got to know something. Between you and Snoop, you all are now part of our family.
Listen,
you're part of the track and field family, okay?
The Pecs were here. Olympics.
There we go. Olympics. There you go, Diff, the Olympics.
Lewis, you are the man, dude.
Thank you, man.
You are the man.
All right, Tiff.
Well, last weekend it was Snoop. This weekend, Terry Crews. By the way, just for those of you watching who are Kara Goucher fans, I've never seen Kara starstruck until Terry Crews came up into our booth earlier today. That was a special moment for you.
I think he's a great guy. He just exudes positivity, and yes, I will admit that I was very much so starstruck.
All right, nothing's changed at the front. While we're hearing from Terry, Susanna Sullivan is still leading Carissa Schweitzer. Here is Parker Valby, the collegiate standout. Oh boy, has she had a trials or what? She's had the year of her life, athletically, performance-wise. She narrowly missed out in the women's 5,000, but I think there's a deeper story there. She led the majority of the way. Carissa Schweitzer, by the way, who's just a couple of people up the track, Carissa said, full props to this young lady. To be a collegian and to have the guts to go out and lead that 5,000 meter final the way she did up until the closing meters, she said that was an impressive performance. We'll tell you more about the Parker Valby story in a moment. Let's check in with Trey and Paul in the field. There was just a huge roar. Groove. She's doing great. Let's get back to the Parker Valby story, Cara, because there is still a chance she could go to Paris regardless of what happens in this event via what she did in the 5,000, right?
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance she'll go. The schedule at the Olympic Games is much tighter between the 5,000 and the 1,500. So if Ellie St. Pierre and or Elise Cranny make that 1,500 meter team, they might have to make a decision between the two events. And she created her own destiny there, Lee. She took that lead. She didn't have the Olympic standard of 14:52. She had run 14:52.7. She took the lead. She led that whole thing. When the kicking started, she hung on as best she could, and she ran under that standard, running 14:51. So she has made her own destiny to become an Olympian. We'll have to wait and see, but she has a very good chance of making it in this race as well.
Well, she's made her way as far as the NCAA records. She's won 5 titles in the same academic year. That's never happened in women's competition in NCAA. Have a look at the laps. Have a look at the miles in the legs of Parker Valby.
Yeah, she's run she has raced 137.5 laps on an outdoor track this year. That is over 34 miles. Compare that to Carissa Schweitzer, who's run 66. So the amount of racing that she has done is truly, truly incredible. And she really has risen to the top in every competition. She's just met it head on. It's really, really incredible to see her doing this and staying healthy while she's doing this. We talk a lot about how she cross-trains so much because she has a difficult time staying healthy, which makes those stats of how much time she has raced on the track so impressive.
Amanda Vestry doing a nice job just on the inside of Parker Valby there. Wayne Kaladi, Carissa Schweitzer doing great, and Susanna Sullivan still leading the way. Still plenty of time left in this final of the women's 10,000 meters here at Haywood Field on a 78-degree evening here in the Pacific Northwest. Lee Diffie-Karagaucha with you. And Sullivan still leads Schweitzer. Parker Valby is just slowly ticking forward, one at a time as she goes past Vestry for that third spot. All in black. You see Wayne Kaladi behind her. And then how about one of 2 Olympians in this race? The 32-year-old Rachel Smith unfortunately had a hamstring strain in the lead up to these trials, but so far so good, Cara. She sits on the rail in about 7th there, all in blue.
Yeah, she's come back great. She gave birth to her daughter Nova in April of 2023, and she's really had a good, strong comeback. She's really taken her time. We know she's capable of running these times. She did suffer, like you said, a little injury in the lead up here, but she ran a strong final in the 5,000, and she'll factor in here now. They're running about 32-minute pace, which is relatively comfortable. I mean, it's a warm day, so they're feeling it, but that's why we still see how everyone is still on that train. They haven't really dropped anyone yet.
That's Erica Kemp, hip number 5 there, just off Rachel Smith. Erica ran the Boston Marathon last year. She did start and did compete at the marathon trials earlier this year when we were in Orlando, but she did not finish that. So here she is trying for another team, trying for the team, I should say, in a different event. So we'll see what Erica can do as this race gets old. Emily Lipari just tucked in behind Rachel Smith there.
And on the inside of Parker Valby, we see Amanda Vestry. She's having a great year. She's hip number 11, and she sort of has come out of nowhere this year. I mean, people have known about her. She's been building strongly, but really she's run so strongly these past few months, and she's really put herself in contention to make this team. She's very confident in herself. She's confident in her training and her preparation to be here. So we definitely want to keep our eye on her.
In the red and white, sitting second, that's Carissa Schweitzer, the 28-year-old from Iowa. She is already an Olympian, and she's already booked a ticket to go to Paris via her top 3 finish in the 5,000. But she really likes the 10,000, and she said that after dealing with injuries and surgeries, and she's back to really good health now, She said, I want to re-establish myself in the 10,000 meters at a global level because I was there and I want to get back there. I feel like I belong there. I feel like I have a place there.
You know, she ran so fast and so well at the 2022 World Championships here in Eugene. She was 9th place, but in an extremely, extremely fast race. She has a lot of speed. Her 5,000 meter PR is extremely quick. She's running the 14:20s. And so for a 10,000 meter runner, she has that speed in her back pocket. I love this event for her. Now that she's healthy, I think we're really going to get to see her shine in this.
17 laps to go here at Haywood Field. There's still a lot of work to be done in the women's 10,000 meters. What a comeback. What a comeback after somewhat of a jittery start, but that's the Tara Davis-Woodhall that we know. Back to the women's 10,000 meters, and continuing to lead the way, Susanna Sullivan out of Virginia has set the pace pretty much right from the start. But guess what? Here we go. We've got visitors. The likes of 25-year-old Ellie Hennis out of Cary, North Carolina. You see her number 19 there. She won the NCAA title for NC State back in 2021, the year of the last trials. So 3 years on, what's she going to do? She was coached by her mum to that victory, and she's getting better the longer this race goes on.
Yeah, you know, she underwent lung surgery in October, and so this season's a little bit unknown for her, but she looks awfully good and relaxed right now. Sullivan continues to lead. She also led the World Championship Marathon for quite a bit in Budapest, so she's not afraid to lead. The pace has slowed a bit, and that's why we're starting to see this bunching and people moving out to the outside of lane 1. I think everyone's kind of gathering themselves. They know at some point someone's going to have to push, but they don't want to be the one to do it. It's tough in these conditions, and I'm impressed by where Kaladi has just positioned herself. She's just in about 5th position right now, and she's just easing along. You know, she's the one that has that standard and doesn't need to force any moves at this point in the race.
Coming down the front stretch, and the women will look up at the signboard that says 12 more to go. 12 more laps here at Haywood Field. Sullivan, Schweitzer, Valby, Hennis in the mix. Vestry, Wayne Kaladi, Rachel Smith, Erica Kemp, all in that front group of, let's just say, 10 women. Paul, Trey, what's happening in the shot put? Performances that we have seen here day in, day out at Haywood Field have just been staggering. Back to the women's 10,000 meters. And what do you make of the pace, Caro? Now, the reason I ask that is we need to turn our attention to the Olympic standard. And where are we headed? What are we looking at?
Well, we're not going to see an Olympic standard tonight. These women have decided to ignore the clock and really just race each other. So I think this will pick up quite a bit over the final third. But right now, they're just decided they're just going to race this. I just want to point out Wayne Kaladi again. She comes in with the only one with this standard. Her position here is nice. She had the standard in the 5,000. She ran 14:35 at the Prefontaine Classic. But because of the Olympic schedule, she felt like this was her stronger event, and she wanted to be fresh for it. She said that in the past, it's been hard to race at Hayward. You know, this is where she left her country to come and become an American. But running at Pre really calmed her, and she feels like she's starting new here now. And it's interesting to see her really dedicated to this one event and putting everything into it.
There is one other athlete in this field with the Olympic standard, but there's kind of like there's a caveat to that. It's Katie Izzo, and she does have the standard, but she's primarily a cross-country runner.
Right. She achieved that standard through cross-country ranking, so it's very complicated.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
But right now, we're just going to enjoy what these women do. I think these women think that if they compete well and finish in the top 3, their hope is that their ranking will be high enough to get through. They've slowed down a little bit more again. They're running 32:41 pace right now, which is very comfortable for all these athletes.
Next time by, there'll be 9 laps left of Haywood. Well into the second half of this women's 10,000 meters. Back in a moment. No breakaways here. This is a solid pack at the front in the women's 10,000 meters on a warm evening here in Eugene, Oregon. And all of a sudden, there's been some movement. Yes, it was a stable pack for such a long time. And Erica Kemp has now said, all right, I'm going to pick things up a little bit. Carissa Schweitzer goes with her. Wayne Kaladi. Now here's all the takers. Vestry wants there. Hennis is there. Finally, some movement, Kara.
Yeah, Erica Kemp just said enough is enough. We only have 8 laps to go. It's time to get this thing moving. And look at how immediately people responded to that. And we're starting to see a little shakeup in the pack.
Carissa Schweitzer, though, in the red and the white, just has been solid. Right there in second. She was following Smith for the longest time. Now behind Kemp, and Wayne Kaladi looks good. The third runner in shot, you see Wayne Kaladi in the black and yellow and white, is the only athlete here at the front with the Olympic standard. So
she's in great position. She doesn't need to push. She doesn't need to force anything to happen. Obviously, she would love to win this, and she needs to be in the top 3, but she's not going to force anything right now. It is very warmly, and this is the stage in the race when you really start to feel it. All of the sweat is pooling on your forehead, and you just start to feel the weight of the heat. And these women are really feeling that right now, and they're trying to be as relaxed as possible.
This is the front stretch, the home stretch. On the back straight, you'll see a black table. That's a water relief table over there for the women on this warm evening, and some have already taken that option to go and grab a water and just splash themselves and get some kind of relief.
Well, we just saw Jess McLean move up behind Amanda Vestry, and some people might recognize her. She's now in 7th. At the same time, it was a huge breakthrough performance for her. She struggled with injuries for years, and now she is healthy. This is her first season on the track since 2020.
Yeah, that was a memorable performance. While we were showing that, you may have noticed Rachel Smith just pulled off to the side. So that's it for her for this women's 10,000 meters. There she is right there. There was a bittersweet feeling too coming to these trials with that hamstring strain. She was trying to get up for it. She was excited about it, but she knew that she wasn't at 100% fitness.
Yeah, it's tough to know what to do. She came out here and fought. We see Kellen Taylor now moving in. You see her in the hat there in the blue bottoms. She's a mom of 4, and she was actually 4th at the trials in the 10,000 back in 2016. So she has fought through so much. We know her a little bit more as a marathoner, but she definitely has some speed when she comes down to the track.
Regular top 10 finisher in the New York Marathon. Let's go back to the field. Trey Paul updated. How excited Kara Goucher was when she saw Terry Crews.
Maybe a little more. Lee, Parker Valby has moved to the front here, and we're seeing what she did in the NCAA. When it was time for her to go, she would go, and she was so authoritative. Look at what she has done to this race. Almost instantly, we are down to 3 women because Parker Valby, when she decides to make a move, it is just so decisive. And Schweitzer and Kaladi are happy to ride on that train and stretch away from the rest of the field.
This is with 4 laps to go here at Hayward. This is exactly the stoic facial expression and composure that this youngster, this collegiate standout and record holder showed in the women's 5,000 meter final. Now, it didn't work out her way. She didn't finish in the top 3. There's still a chance for her to go to Paris in that event if one of the 3 women who are doing the 5,000, 1,500 double.
Second pace, then they went down to 75 seconds per lap, and then she just ripped a 70-second lap here, and she almost looks better now that she's stretching out, as is Schweitzer and Kaladi. They both, all 3 of them now look more comfortable because they are running now, and they're able to use their full strides. They're not having to hold back.
Clear breakaway of these 3 women. Parker Valby, Carissa Schweitzer, and Wayne Kaladi. And Kaladi again with that Olympic standard. By the way, if you're interested for the time, it's 30 minutes, 40 seconds even. And Wayne has already achieved that. Final 3 laps in the women's 10,000.
It's really remarkable to see Parker Valby time and time again come out here and push this from so far out. And she had just opened this race up. I mean, now there's just these 3, and now we just get to watch them kick against each other. She just split a 71 for that lap. She looks up at the board. She wants to make sure that they are clear, and they are. These 3 are clear. Carissa Schweitzer looking so good. We know she has a lethal kick. And Kaladi just riding this train. You know, she was the one with the least pressure in this situation. She has that time, and she looks awfully good as well. As
they come past Stephanie Bruce. By the way, you saw Parker Valby's parents before, Tiffany and Kyle. They sold the family home in Tampa, Florida, bought an RV, and have been following their daughter around the country in her NCAA collegiate competition. And now they're going to be following her around in her post-collegiate efforts. Just incredible.
They're awfully calm watching her. I guess
sure
they're just used to seeing her lead big races, but this is just such a big moment. They only have 2 laps to go here once they cross the finish line, and Parker Valby just loves to drive from far out. Carissa Schweitzer is feeling this out. She would love to become Olympic trials champion in this event and cement her status as the best American 10,000 meter runner. And Kaladi is just hanging in there, looking very, very good and bouncy on that track in 3rd place.
The way this is looking is Valby. There's a question mark. She may go to Paris and could or should go to Paris. Schweitzer is already going via the 5,000, and Wayne Kaladi, so long as she stays where she is, she will be going to Paris for the women's 10,000. By the way, Carissa Schweitzer, in addition to all of the athletic accomplishments and everything that's going on, she said, "I've never been to Paris. I'd love to just taste the coffee in Paris and see what it's like."
Right. Never mind the whole Olympic thing.
Never mind the Olympics. And representing Team USA yet again, like she did in Tokyo.
Well, I have to say, she has set this race up perfect for Carissa Schweitzer. This is where Carissa really, really can shine in these final 500 meters. This is where we see her turnover, and I think she's getting antsy. We start to see her move out here into lane 2. This is the perfect setup for Schweitzer to win a national title.
1 lap to go. So this is where the Olympic standard's at, right there, 30 minutes, 40 seconds. So they're about a lap off at the moment. But that doesn't matter. Top 3, they're running as hard as they can. And Carissa Schweitzer has a quick look. She wants to know exactly where Wayne Kaladi is, and she's right on your shoulder. She's right on your hip, and now she's in front of you. Kaladi, the only one with the Olympic standard, takes the lead of this race.
What a move by Kaladi. I don't think we saw this one coming. She's been running so well all year, but in longer distances, she is gritting her face a little bit, but she wants to win this. It would mean so much for her to win this race right now, but Carissa Schweitzer is not relenting, and Parker Valby is hanging in there, Lee.
Look at this. Maybe Kaladi went too early. She definitely went too early. Carissa Schweitzer puts herself in front, is coming back from injury and surgery, and now she's got the collegiate taking her on, but guess what? Wayne Kaladi's not done. Kaladi comes back on the inside, saving that kick for the final 80 meters. Wayne Kaladi is going to Paris, winning the women's 10,000 over Carissa Schweitzer and Parker Valby. What a finish!
Can you just tell me about the importance of staying dedicated just to the 10K, and now you're going to Paris to represent the United States in these Olympic Games? What does it mean to you?
Oh my God, this means a lot, you know. I can't believe it. I've been here so many times, and I feel like I short of the team, and that hurts a lot. Today, it was hard mentally, but I said I have done this many times. I prepared with the speed workout. I've been hitting my PRs in every short workout, and I feel like today we just like mentally play out. As I said, I'm gonna come back a new me. This is it.
This is it. Beautiful. Carissa, you're already going to Paris in the 5K. What does a performance like this and this final mean to you as well?
Yeah, I just had a bit of a setback this year. I mean, multiple setbacks. So just to come back here and really believe in myself and trust myself and really go for it, I'm really happy about it.
Parker, I see you looking around. It really happened at only 21. Where did you find the courage to push the pace, take the lead, and now you've got this time you're standing here at these Olympic trials?
My coach, when he gave me the sign to go, it meant to go, and he knows how to read a race correctly, so I was just following him, and it's honestly really surreal. I am not an emotional person, but I could cry right now.
It's okay. You're allowed to cry. Ladies, congratulations, all righty?